I have never seen her in that state before. All of a sudden, she just said, "I've got to go."
A pregnant woman with a husband serving overseas.
Emil was deployed to Afghanistan, and she was afraid, she was nervous, she was scared.
With a dark secret at home.
Everybody makes mistakes, and she was trying to figure out, how do you fix your mistakes?
When she vanishes, detectives are baffled.
There were so many moving parts and unanswered questions. The Bethany Decker case is the most intriguing case I've ever covered.
January 28th, 2011. 21-year-old Bethany Decker is paying a visit to her grandmother in Columbia, Maryland. During their get-together, it soon becomes clear that Bethany is overwhelmed.
I could tell that Bethany was not at peace with her life. She had so much on her plate for such a young girl.
Until recently, Bethany was well known for her upbeat personality.
Bethany's just such a joy to be around. She was, from the time she was born, smiling and just really got people's attention. Just a beautiful girl on the inside and out.
During her freshman year at George Mason, Bethany started dating a fellow student named Emil Decker, an ROTC cadet with an eye on a military career. After 3 years of dating, Bethany and Emil got engaged, and soon, Bethany was expecting.
Bethany told me that she was sad and nervous, as I would have imagined. For her, she would be by herself with Kai, and she would be, I'm sure, lonely.
After 4 months at war, Emil was granted a brief R&R. He flew back to spend time with his family, but when he landed, Bethany delivered upsetting news. Bethany seems distracted, even frightened.
I have never seen her in that state before. All of a sudden, she just said, "I've got to go." And she picked up her cell phone and her keys and went to the door and left, and Emil followed her. And that was the last time I saw her. And I had no idea that that would be the last time.
Three weeks go by without anyone hearing from Bethany. Until one day, her friend Sarah notices something strange.
Bethany was on Facebook. I asked her how she was doing, and right away I knew that the other person was not Bethany.
Sarah calls Bethany's grandmother in a panic.
Evelyn? She said, "I'm asking her questions that she should know the answers as best friends that we would only share and nobody else would know. And she's not answering them. She's avoiding them." So we jumped in our car and we headed on down towards Ashburn. The car was not parked totally in the spot. Bethany never parked like that, her car. It looked like the car was pushed into this parking spot and just quickly and left. We were very shocked at that. We're calling the police.
We started interviewing witnesses, friends, family, and finding them as fast as we could and starting to establish some kind of a pattern. We were already 3 weeks behind, and that certainly raises a flag immediately, just based on time.
As far as anyone in the family knows, the last person to see Bethany was her husband, Emil. Although he is back in Afghanistan, detectives are eager to interview him. By email, Emil tells detectives he had nothing to do with Bethany's disappearance.
A few days later, we got some information from one of our sister papers that a search warrant had been filed in Fairfax County for a man named Ronald. It turned out to be her boyfriend. He had been living with her in her Loudoun County apartment.
And the fact that Bethany was involved in a love triangle made detectives and the media take notice.
Still to come on today, a young mother expecting her second child vanishes without a trace just days before her husband is deployed to Afghanistan.
That's when the case really got intriguing.
Step one for detectives is to talk to Ronald Roldan.
There was something about Ron that just didn't seem right. She did tell me that he threatened her a few times.
Yes, I am.
And was abusive a few times, both from what she told me physically and verbally.
Ronald denies ever abusing Bethany, mentally or physically. But based on their interviews with friends and family, sheriffs believe they have probable cause and obtain a search warrant for the house where Ronald Roldan is now living. Now, detectives turn their focus to a face-to-face interview with the other man in Bethany's life, her husband, Emil Decker.
I think the police were interested in me as being a suspect, primarily because they view me as just coming home from the war, finding out that my wife had cheated on me, pregnant with another man's child, and they felt that I might have had some kind of huge flare-up or some kind of rage to go on and do other intentions. Finally, I call her one time and she gets on the phone and she just straight up tells me, hey, listen, don't talk to me. I don't love you anymore. And in the background, the guy says, man up, and then click.
Bethany's friends and family and the community are left with only speculations.
There was never a question or a thought in my mind that Emil could have had anything to do with Bethany's disappearance. And there still isn't.
Hopefully soon we will be able to have good news. She'll be back here with us again. We can only hope and pray and dream for that day, but it will be the greatest day.